The views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the commentators, guests, and the host. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the policy or views held by Tobago Updates or this network. Tobago Updates or this network cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program.
Good evening. My name is Marlon David, and I want to officially welcome you back to what I call the reconvening of the Minority Report. We have been off air for a bit, short hiatus. It seems to many that it was such a long time. However, we took a break in line with the schools and so on, and so that we could have also recalibrated a bit. And we are back by popular demand, and I can also say command, because many persons have been calling and messaging, meeting you on the streets and saying that we're demanding that the program comes back on air. Whatever timeline you all have, cut it short. We want to hear you, and so we are back tonight. The return of the Minority Report, and it's going to be exciting, it's going to be explosive, and again, in true fashion, what you, the general listening public, are accustomed to, and even surpassing your expectations. I want to say thank you for making this program the #1 viewed current affairs program in Tobago, and I'm hoping shortly in Trinidad and Tobago, because we are on national platforms and national carriers. So this evening I want to say thank you for your support, thank you for the viewership, thank you for the followership, thank you for keeping us on our toes, so to speak. This evening, if you are logged on already and you are interested in informing others of the different opportunities to log on and look at the program, you can look at the program or view the program on the Tobago Updates website. You can view us on the Tobago Updates YouTube channel. You can view us on the Tobago Updates Facebook page, which gives you the opportunity to be a bit more interactive, air your views, your opinions, and so on. If you are a Flow subscriber, you can see the program on channel 121. That is channel 121. Or channel 130. Yes, Flow subscribers, channel 121 and channel 130. If you are an AMPLIA subscriber, you can simply tune your television, cable TV, to channel 102. Yes, channel 102, and you can view not just the Minority Report, but all of the programming of Tobago Updates. I want to encourage those of you who may want to share your information, who may have a message to drop, who may have video, who would have a photograph that you want to share with us this evening, or simply make a comment on different various topics that we're discussing. You can send that WhatsApp message to 284-6597. That is 284-6597. And so I want to encourage you to share the live link, share the link with your family members, call your neighbors, tell them, hey, the Minority Report is back on. Call your co-workers, your colleagues, call your relatives abroad. We want to say hello to the diaspora. Many of you are also logged on Facebook, and we want to say thank you for spreading the message also of the Minority Report wherever you may find yourself scattered around the globe. So welcome this evening to you as well. And so we want you to call as many people, engage as many persons, so that they can all be a part of the discussions as they come to light and as they begin to bear fruit. Joining me in studio this evening as we reconvene, I want to take the opportunity to introduce as well to my immediate right, Minority Councillor, Mrs. Petal Daniel Benoit. How are you, ma'am? It's been a while.
Good evening, Marlon. Good evening, Tom Minority Leader. Good evening, Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago. Wherever you are tuned into the Minority Report this evening, we are back. It's good to be back. As you would have indicated, Marlon, people have been reaching us on the streets. Up to today, somebody is like, I'm looking forward. I have been missing the program for such a long time. So, I was assuring that viewer that we will be on tonight. So, good night to you and all the viewers. And we are happy that you are locked on. We are happy that, you missed us.
Yes.
And we are happy to be back to share with you the facts, to bring the information, and to unpack all that has been happening, as well as to amplify your challenges and your issues. So it's really good to be back.
And to your immediate right, Assemblyman Kelvin Morris, our Minority Leader. Welcome back.
Definitely, let me say good evening to Councillor Daniel Benoit, to you, Marilyn, and to our loyal viewers, listeners, supporters. We know you missed us and we missed you all as well, and therefore it is indeed a pleasure to be back on live, speaking to the people of Tobago on the issues that are pertinent to their affairs, to your affairs, and therefore we look forward to continue bringing the information, educating, enlightening, and sharing with Tobagonians the level of mismanagement that is going on across the length and breadth of the Tobago House of Assembly at this time under this Farley Chavez Augustine-led THA administration. And also to start sharing with you the bold, bright vision that the PNM as a party have for the people of Tobago going forward. So it will be a program that is shaped a little differently as we go forward, but at the same time we really look forward to continue edifying and enlightening the people of Tobago with the relevant information.
So thank you very much, Minority Leader, Minority Councillor. And we want to head right into our first leg of the program, where we take a look at some of the pressing issues that over the last week or so we would have seen. And again, taking this opportunity to highlight this as a number of challenges that we see facing. And I want to kick it off with our first headline, that Morris slams Connector Road. we saw an article carried here. I'll ask the director to highlight as we go along. And Assemblyman Morris, Minority Leader, really coming out swinging at this whole issue of the road. And in the program, we're going to get deeper into it as well. But Mr. Director, could you... Nice. A full article carried here in the news, in the media, and gathering a lot of traction as many persons connected with the information. Individuals indicating that they were unaware of the cost, and then the intricacies of the road itself now posing a number of challenges. And as we go on, we're going to get a bit into that. We also saw the issue of grant fraud at the Division of Settlements. Now, I can't remember a time where we would have had such bold moves. Now persons coming out into the public and highlighting instances of being made to pay monies and so forth for services that are supposed to be free.
Well, the point is the fact that people are taking those kind of avenues to get a grant tells you that at this point in time, perhaps it is so difficult to get the grant that some people are willing to try to cut corners. And if there was a system where grants were being distributed in one, a timely manner, and then in two, a very transparent and efficient manner, then perhaps you would not see this kind of, but people are getting desperate in Tobago, and that's the reality.
That is true.
We also, and I mean a hot topic, and Minority Leader, you as well, again, as we go into the program, we go deeper into this, but this one I think created quite a bit of frenzy, where we saw a temporary assignment of Secretary Hackett to the Division of Tourism. I think the place almost burnt down with questions from taxi drivers all the way up to public servants. Here we see the article headlining. Again, I know you would have said a lot, and tonight we'll ventilate,
Yes.
but yet again another startling headliner. We also saw the issue of the tutor Tobago representative in the having, a difference of opinion, slamming the policy of police in schools in Tobago. And again, something that has stirred the public, something that has created great public interest, now being bantered around on social media and the media houses, having extensive discussions. A major one, Tobago Carnival stakeholders boycott the official launch of Tobago's Carnival. I don't even know if to say anything about this. Mr. Director, I'm not seeing the news article. The article and the image speaks for itself. Horrendous.
Distance themselves from Wednesday night's official launch.
Yes.
When you would think that the stakeholders who are the major attractions in a carnival, so steel pan, mass, calypso, they are the elements that make up carnival in any district. When they would boycott, you could quote unquote their event, it says a lot, and it's a strong message that is being sent to this administration as well as to the public in terms of what is happening in the Division, Festivals Commission, and in relation to the Tobago Carnival.
I want to give these stakeholders a round of applause tonight, because it is high time we as Tobagonians push back against the high-class disrespect that is being on display without apology, with arrogance on steroids by this current administration. So tonight I give the stakeholders a round of applause for pushing back and letting these jokers know who really run the carnival, because they are only, as I said, they're the enablers to really facilitate, but it is the stakeholders who are really the movers and shakers, and that actually put on this event that is the Tobago Carnival. That is your event promoters, your mass band leaders, your calypso people, your pan people. Those are the people who really, that is who people come to enjoy the events and participate.
Yeah.
So therefore, the fact that the THA would have disrespected them in that way, and they decided to stand up and be counted and let them know we are not happy, I salute them and I applaud them tonight.
We saw, again, a very interesting one, but at the same time, very, very concerning. Police having to save the life of a child by transporting that child to the hospital when all attempts to secure the service of an ambulance failed.
Listen,
Mr. Director,
no, but as a
the actual
parent,
story.
I could just imagine the horror that that parent, that mother was experiencing, calling the police, and based on the article, calling, the ambulance service, and hours, no response.
Yeah.
And we are being told that ambulances are in service to the point where the parent had to call the police.
And
We would have purchased, 12 ambulances
12
Correct.
at a cost of
Too much.
to 18 million
18
over
mi-
eight
million.
and counting.
over $18
And
million dollars,
counting.
and we still continue to pay rental for ambulances that are in service. We should have had 4 already before that. We have how many is in operation? Because we see up and down the old ambulances as well as the
Yeah.
rental ambulances.
Yeah.
We are not seeing the new ambulances that was purchased that should have been put in circulation.
But even worse, Councillor, is the fact that that said week we got information, credible information, that there was only 1 ambulance in service. And when that information was shared with the media and the media reached out to the TRHA, they lied, blatantly lied, and told the journalists that there are 6 ambulances in service, only to come almost immediately after to recognize that a life of a child was compromised because there was, as accurately reported, no ambulance or insufficient ambulance to service the emergency response call of persons. This week, I understand, and I'm subject to correction, but there's a situation that happened where someone lost their life, and part of the claim is that there was no ambulance to respond on a timely manner. And this is why we continue to let Tobagonians know the mismanagement of the procurement of those ambulances is a matter of life and death.
Yeah.
And that is, it is so sad that it has reached this situation. And if you recall the press conference by the Tobago Regional Health Authority, one of the things that was promised by the TRHA is that if the ambulances were not working properly, then they will be returned. How long will we wait for that action to happen? Because it's been more than a year, and we have received them more than 6 months. So how long again would we have to wait to see that action? What else has to happen for you to recognize that these ambulances are not working? And there is no value for money.
Correct.
And that's an important question you ask there, because if you're committed to saying that, well, we have an arrangement that if we are not satisfied, we can return. But we have seen that those ambulances, they were commissioned sometime in March. We are now in September, and they are not operational and functional. Yet, we continue to hold on to these dysfunctional ambulances, having to continue to spend additional money to lease the ambulances from Universal. So that is an additional cost. Yet, no one is making the decision that here, we have enough. And you have to ask the question, why?
Exactly.
Because we saw this just this week, St. Vincent commissioned the same Toyota Hiace ambulances that they refused, that were way cheaper. They were getting for $600,000 from a supplier. They refused those ambulances. But St. Lucia bought them and have them in operation. North Regional Health Authority is using them as well. And have them in operation. But the ones we paid $1.4 million for,
an
unknown brand continues to give problems and cannot be operated here.
Exactly. Oh Lord. And again, this is another topic as later in the
Yes.
show we'll have a little time to drill down a bit
Correct.
into it. And I mean, to end our week's headlines on a very positive note, we have a donation of school supplies given to the office of the minority leader. And minority leader, I want you to really highlight this a bit, this labor of love. Mr. Director, you can pull it up. Very well. Minority leader, tell us what happened there.
So this is what you call, divine intervention. And sometimes there's a saying, when God can come, you send and this is again, the hand of the Almighty having full work in the operations of this minority team. Because here it is, you are well known, Marilyn, the wants are unlimited in terms of the requests. And therefore our resources are extremely limited.
Always limited.
And therefore, but how dedicated we are to trying to meet the needs of our fellow Tobagonians near and far. And it matters not where you come from in Tobago, we try to help. So therefore, this donation came from a son of the soil of Wim, who is now residing in the United States, Mr. Thomas. And he, would have left as a young man and he wanted to give back to his community. And, at that time, he decided to reach out to me as the area representative to partner with him so that he can really make this donation back to the community of Wim. And therefore, already we have started to do some distribution. And, we just want again to extend our gratitude to Mr. Thomas and his family, and for him remembering first Tobago and the community of Wim, and making that donation that is very timely, very relevant, and very necessary at this time. So, and we want to encourage persons as we go forward. Christmas is coming up. If you have an extra thing, feel free to drop it into the office of the minority, because we are preparing our hamper goodie boxes as of now, from now. So if you have cans, anything can, we will take it. So we're going to have the weekend. We start the weekend campaign here.
And you don't have to wait until
so don't wait
because even as we engage people on a daily basis, the need is ever so present.
Yes. So
if you have anything that you can and willing to contribute, please feel free to drop it.
We can, the minority can. So we have the Can Drive initiative. Please feel free as you're walking, as you pass in the office, Uptown Scarborough, opposite Unit Trust, and you just finished making grocery. Feel free to drop off some can stuff so we can make a difference together.
Yes.
True that. True that. And I want to also take the opportunity to make a special plug here. We always speak about diaspora.
Yes.
This is literally the example of the diaspora making an impact in Tobago.
And we didn't spend taxpayers' funds. We didn't have to spend taxpayers' funds for persons to recognize our work and decide, I want to be part of that. Because sometimes the best way to get buy-in is by example.
Correct.
And once people believe in your vision and believe in what you're doing, naturally, they would come forward. So therefore, again, we want to thank everyone for the partnership, for the goodwill.
Correct.
And, in ensuring that, as a minority, we can continue to make a difference in the lives of Tobagonians, and it's not just us always talking the talk, but we also walking the walk as well.
And thank you to Mr. Thomas and his son, is it?
Yes,
That is
yes.
with him. And again, I want to encourage other members of the diaspora. Feel free just to reach out, contact us, whether it is on Facebook, the Minority Council page, whether it is calling the office. Even if you want to tell a relative who is in Tobago that you want to send a barrel for the office of the minority leader, that is acceptable and it is possible, and it will go a long way in you contributing back to Tobago. And many persons, you know, even at the end of their career, they want to move back home.
Yes.
You know, and we want to give you the opportunity to help us ensure that the society is a nice and peaceful one where everybody is treated with respect and equity, so that when you get back here, you can also join in and be a member of that process. So folks, we're going to take a short break, and when we get back, we head into our next corner, Community Voice. We'll be right back.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Welcome back. You are viewing the Minority Report. I'm Marlon David, your host, and we have been easing into some discussions. This point in time in the program, we're going to shift a bit where we focus on what is happening in various communities and so on. Before we get into the highlight this evening, I want the director to pull up two particular photos and that I would have sent to him of a major issue that occurred, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. So as the director pulls those two pictures up, and this is it, Mr. Minority Leader, I don't know if you remember this look. Let's see the other photo as well. You remember this? What this look here? Now, folks, this is something that was highlighted, and the Minority Leader had to literally go live. Now, this has been an issue, a growing hazard in the community for months, where a simple piece of work has turned into a death trap, where vehicles are swerving away from this manhole that was created, and Minority Leader would have come and ventilated intensely about the issue that was occurring here, and more so the safety of those drivers and pedestrians even who were in the vicinity of this debacle here. This is just opposite Coast Cutters. That Minority Leader has been patched. I have said that to say this, that unless we go to social media where this administration is publicly embarrassed and citizens are remembered or reminded of the responsibility of the administration to their well-being and safety, if that is not done, nothing happens. They're literally waiting for somebody to die to respond. I don't know if you would have seen the patching that was done. It wasn't good, but they tried to cover up the hole.
So what this demonstrates, people of Tobago, is the fact that this administration will not act unless you embarrass them into action.
Yeah.
And therefore, the more you stay silent in this situation, to them is consent, and they believe that you are okay and you are fine, and therefore the worst will continue. But if you want better, it means that you too have to get more active, agitating in your community, showing up their mismanagement and the poor condition, because I know this road is but one of many across the length and breadth of Tobago that is just in a poor state at this time. This road, it was after being inundated with calls and various complaints from residents who have to pass there on a daily basis. And one resident told me they came close to a head-on collision.
Yes.
And it is when, they said, well, I have to call Mr. Morris and see what Mr. Morris could do for us. And I found it necessary to at least go there so they can see for themselves. If they were pretending not to see that manhole, because a lot of them would be passing there because a lot of the offices are right in Glenroy.
Yeah.
And the fact that it took us going live and them hearing drivers while we were there live saying, yes, it's time, thanks Mr. Morris, thanks for highlighting it, that they finally decided to at least try to address it in some way. And this is a sad situation, very unfortunate where we are in Tobago, where all our roads, this is basically the general condition of our roads. When Tobago was known for having some of the best road network in the entire country.
Yeah. And even in
the Caribbean.
Yeah.
A lot of people, Tobago was the envy of the Caribbean under the PNM administration when it comes to road maintenance and, having really safe, smooth roads.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, whether you're in country, whether you're in town, whether you're in the west, all the roads are in a deplorable state.
And
before you go on, one thing we want to do as well is to encourage citizens throughout Tobago, the length and breadth of Tobago, from Charlottesville to Crown Point, from Roxborough to Lansford, Plymouth, Golden Lane, wherever you are, we are asking you to send the information of craters and potholes in the road.
Yes.
We will highlight it. As you have seen, we have started or resumed our segment in terms of community ills, one of which is, as the minority leader indicated, the poor state of our roads. Wherever you have one, send it to us. We will highlight it for you.
So we would be launching, and I'm happy Councillor Benoit raised that point, because tonight you are hearing it first, and from Monday we will be setting up a page called Show Me the Potholes. And on that page we will be asking persons, wherever you are, wherever there you sight a pothole, take a picture, upload it, and there's a way that you can also put the location, and we will do the necessary advocacy to ensure that that is patched, just like that road you saw there at Highmore next to Coast Cutters. It is because we were able to identify the road, highlight it, and brought some attention. They went and fixed it. So we will be on their heels, ensuring that they fix all the bad roads, because if they have $100 million to give a Trinidad contractor to basically build a road that was really costing $65 million, and the central government was paying for that, then they should have enough money to fix the roads that we have to drive on daily.
What is also concerning to me is the state of our environment. I don't know if you recognize that when you drive through Tobago. I was coming from...
It's dirty.
Not even dirty, overgrown with bush.
Yeah.
Just as simple as the bush on the sidewalks, the bush along the drains. I have never seen the place like this before.
I was actually up at the north side this weekend.
I was coming from Castara last week. And it was just...
So the roads, because there's so much bush, the roads are actually narrowing, and it's becoming almost where you have two lanes, basically a one lane.
Because you want to drive in
the roads, it has so much bush in the road itself that the cows are basically grazing on the road. Because most of the bush is so overgrown, and I'm wondering to myself, we don't have maintenance crew anymore.
Well, I don't
what
know
is happening
when we got to the state, because I remember we were a pristine. One of the things that we prided ourselves on, clean,
safe and serene.
Correct.
And we depicted that when you walked throughout Tobago, you drove throughout the length and breadth of Tobago, you were proud to see the state of our environment. I don't know when it fell. Well, we know when it fell down, but it has fallen down.
It's worse and worse and worse. And I mean, speaking about dilapidated road networks and things that should have been done, I want us to take a look at the next video, which is highlighted in our Community Voice segment. We're going to take us to the area of Mount Mary. I'll ask the director to run that particular video. folks, that is heartrending. Not just the condition of the road itself, but residents are living with their lives in danger.
Literally. And this is a matter that was brought to the attention of the THA some time ago. Prior to this administration coming in, a geotechnical survey was commissioned, and this administration continued that survey. I was not privy to the report until yesterday because, as a representative, the current THA continued to meet with the residents in my absence. And notwithstanding that I was the one advocating, writing on behalf of the residents regarding having this matter resolved and attended to, they continue to leave me in the dark. However, I am told, based on the report that was shared, that the area has been now deemed a disaster zone, basically. And based on what you're seeing, and this is in basically Scarborough. This is happening in the residential side of our capital, which is basically between Montgomery and Smithfield. And this is just right adjacent where Scarborough RC is. This used to be one of the main business and office district of the capital, because you had the Tobago Regional Health Authority there.
Yeah.
Just recently, the office of the chief administrator was there. NIB was there one time at the Rapid Response Building, etc. And that road, that connector was once one of the main connector from Montgomery, taking you back into Scarborough from that side as a student. Anyone who went to Bishops in the early 2000s would tell you that was the road we would use to pass to go when you walk in from school to get into Scarborough.
Yeah.
And to see where that road has come to, and the fact that residents there's a number of promises that would have been made to residents that from the level of the chief secretary that has not materialized is very much disappointing.
Yeah.
To the point, one of the residents I spoke to, who actually took up the relocation offer where they relocated the resident and was paying rent, had to actually be relocated again because the THA was owing the landlord rent for over 1 year. And therefore the landlord got to the point that enough was enough, and he put out the tenant, and so he had to now find another place. While the others who are there, as you're seeing, the building, if you get a good view of the rapid response building, that building, they are told, based on all the assessment, it is not a matter of if the building will come crashing down, but when. So, and you have a house right next to that building, which means at any point in time, on any given day, that could be or night.
We'll see.
It could be sleeping.
Yeah.
And so even the owner of that residential house is saying to me, every time he hears a noise, he basically jump, because you don't know if that is it. That's it. And therefore, I am calling and I'm pleading on the current THA to please get back to the table with these residents and ensure what the discussions and the plans and the promises that were made, please live up to those promises, so that at least the first is to ensure that we rescue lives and livelihoods.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we can then treat with the restoration and rehabilitation. But the foremost concern for me as the area representative at this time is to ensure that we provide some level of safe relocation for the residents in the first instance that is commensurate with where and what they currently enjoy. And then we can treat with the other aspects of it, which is rehabilitating if the area can be restored, or if not, ensuring that we put the necessary safeguards that nobody else will be affected, because it could be that somebody, although the road right now is condemned for vehicles, somebody could be passing, because I was told of a story where a tourist, because you know when you come off the cruise ship, and this one is even more, the resident said to me that a couple who was visiting, coming off from the cruise ship, happened to come down that area and saw him outside, and he was saying to him, you know, he was like, "Are you from around here?" You know, and the guy was like, "Yes, I live in paradise." He said, "Yes, you have paradise except for this area. You look like you live in a disaster zone." You know, and you know, while you might, but
it does look that way.
So it is I'm calling on the THA, I'm calling on the Chief Secretary at this time to please ensure that this matter is given the urgency that it deserves. If anything is an emergency, it is this.
Minority Leader, this is alarming, because when you look at the video, you actually see the road or the platform separating from the building.
Yeah.
Someone in the video placed their hands
down in the crack,
into the crack of the road. And this is serious, because it's about safeguarding the lives of the residents in the area. It does look like a disaster zone.
And I mean, to think that this has been like this and it's worsening. And then we saw this administration build a completely new road right next door without even just coming to say, well, okay, let's try to do something here that would safeguard the lives of the residents.
But what is it's interesting to find out what is the issue with relocating, because clearly this is a hazard, and it will be interesting to know what is the reason why residents have not been relocated in such a danger zone.
And what the residents have told me is that if you speak to the THA, they would say, well, we offer to relocate them. But what the residents wanted were some assurances with respect to the relocation, because they didn't want to end up like that one tenant who was placed in a rental situation, should have been temporary until something permanent is organized. And now he's there almost 2 years, to the point that rent wasn't paid for a year and could have ended up on the streets. So they wanted to ensure, one, because if you look, you have, and it is so, I understand the challenge and the concern of the residents at this time, because even one of the dwelling house is still incomplete, but he does not even know if so there's material on the ground, should I proceed? I don't know. And you're seeing all this, and you have and when you try to get the THA to give some kind of assurance and commitment in black and white, because we know this current THA, and I don't blame them, you just can't take their word. So they're trying to get them to commit to something in black and white, and every time they get to that point, everything just falls down.
It's sad.
It is.
We call it on the THA to prioritize the safety of residents in Montgomery, in this particular area in Montgomery. And clearly it shows that the priorities of this THA administration is mixed up. we spoke about, or they told us that they were coming to deal with bread and butter issues.
And
What is more important than people's lives?
And I think it's important to remind Tobagonians what was their clarion cry, which was, we will fix this. Almost everything that you identified in Tobago, they told us that they will fix it.
Yeah.
And imagine something as important as this has gone unfixed, unaddressed for an entire 4-year term.
Correct.
To the point that the residents have gotten so fed up that they have deemed themselves the forgotten lane, forgotten and abandoned by this current THA. And this is why we are highlighting the residents of that Smithfield Montgomery connector tonight on our community voice, because they have been abandoned by this current THA.
Folks, I want to also encourage you. Minority Councillor would have made a call, but I want to encourage you as well. If there are issues within your community, don't wait until it gets to this stage. Feel free to reach out to us as well. Feel free to send us a WhatsApp video. Feel free to send us photographs. Feel free to call and say, I want you all to come to see what's happening here. Because what is important for us is not only that we come on the program and speak, but that all of Tobago raises its voice and speak to the issues that are now all over. There is no corner of Tobago that you can visit where you do not see significant challenges. And so we want to bring the issues of the community to the program so that we can now advocate on behalf of the community. And we've seen the results, not only with the issue in the streets, but we've seen many different issues ventilated on the program, and they run to address it. So I want to encourage you guys, as you see issues rise up, this is your island. Take responsibility. Let's all raise our voices in unity so that we can address the things that are happening. And coming out of this segment, Minority Leader and Minority Councillor, as we're talking about what's happening in the island, I want to touch a bit on what's happening tomorrow. We have the sitting of the House of Assembly. Thursday. Sorry. We have the sitting of the House of Assembly tomorrow, being Republic Day and a holiday, which I wanted us to discuss a bit later in the program. But we have a special sitting.
No, that is not happening.
No,
that is
that's
cancelled.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Director, could we... Oh, Lord.
So a normal sitting.
So we have
at
the
1:30.
regular sitting
Yeah.
at 1:30 on Thursday. This is the reconvening of the House of Assembly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So we see the way things
Is Mickey Mouse
Yes.
Playhouse.
Lord.
Today
Is
we actually got
today-
notification.
Today.
That it is off, but it is symptomatic of how Tobago is being governed. Is Mickey Mouse Playhouse. It is real. One day you would get, for example, we have a motion we are going to debate, and one day you're told, all right, I just need to amend one word of the motion.
No, it's on the order paper.
Yeah, it's you get the
Order paper at
you
the
get
top
the
here.
order you get the order paper. Then you want to change a word on the order paper. And then it moves somewhere. We perhaps have to pull the motion because it appears that it is unconstitutional. I don't know how it got past the presiding officer, who is very, usually, especially when it comes to motions of the minority, very thorough. But yet it was supposed to be pulled. Only to not, and I'm awaiting a meeting to have the discussion as to what would replace this motion. No meeting happened. Only to be told now, well, some changes will be made, but we don't know what the changes are. And this is the kind of madness that is happening in the Tobago space under this playpen, Dolly House administration.
And this is after how long recess?
So after 2 months recess.
We went on recess in June.
So This we just share that so Tobagonians understand how
That is
bad
happening.
your affairs is being mismanaged and mishandled. At the incompetence, the immaturity, and just the downright disregard for
Yeah,
process
it's like they don't care
and
about.
appreciation of other people's efforts and time as well.
Let us talk about the unanswered questions. When
We-
you open the order paper,
It
the
is
number
shameful.
of unanswered questions, and
It-
there's a particular secretary
Yeah.
whose name appears on the order paper month after month, and for some reason will not show up to respond to you, the people. Because the questions that we are filing, we are asking them on behalf of the people. Because you are the ones that reach out to us. You are the ones that share the information that you require answered. And the minority leader would have highlighted one such instance in the press conference where there was a sitting. The Secretary of Tourism was required to respond. When it was time that the question was posed to her, no one knew where the secretary was. You asked the leader of assembly business, she could not say. Will the secretary be absent? Will the secretary be attending the sitting? No one could answer. We were promised that the questions will be answered when the secretary arrived. Coincidentally, the secretary arrived
At the end.
at the end of the question and answer session while the debate was in process.
Yeah, and that is important. Is beyond the questions. You have persons filing FOIA and basic thing. For example, FOIA is filed on getting information regarding the travel history of secretaries, and even that they're refusing to
Yes.
produce and provide. So and they know why they don't want to share with you how much times they have traveled and what is the cost. Because now that they have enjoyed the largesse of traveling and they know the bill is quite alarming, they don't want you to know.
Yeah.
Because they have enjoyed the travel for the last 4 years. But they now know if that becomes public and you see how much they were having a good time on your account, it might just take away from their favorability in your eyes. And they don't want you to know. So they are now trying to avoid answering the questions. And that is, for me, is not about Kelvon or Petal or Marilyn or Ansel Dennis or the PNM. It is about you, the Tobagonian, that they are showing disregard and disrespect. Because if you care about somebody, you would ensure that you responded to them. And the fact that they are not responding shows that they don't care about you, the people of Tobago, because as Minority Councillor Benoit just said, the questions aren't so much for us because it is you who we are asking the questions on behalf. You are the ones who come to us. For instance, people reach out to us, they haven't paid us at rent and lease since January.
Yeah.
They haven't paid us at yes
and so forth. And we
for
would
the summer
therefore
internship program.
we would therefore ask the questions on your behalf. Sometimes because we ask the questions, they would run and try to, do up something real quick.
Yes.
As to
Delay the answer for a particular sitting, complete what they have to do, then
and
come.
So that is
Then
so.
come to say
So the
that's not an
questions,
issue.
and that is why you also have to raise your voice with us and demand the answers. So it is quite unacceptable that a legislative term is coming to an end and you have questions on that order paper since 2022 unanswered.
But Minority Leader Tobago, we were promised greater accountability and transparency. We were promised greater accountability and transparency. When you are not reporting to the people, when you are not answering the question, because the questions that is a part of the accountability process.
Yeah.
So what is happening in the Tobago House of Assembly in the various divisions? Why you don't want to account to the people? The money that is being spent is taxpayers' dollars. That is your taxpayer dollar, my taxpayer dollar, the minority leader taxpayer dollar. That is our taxpayer dollars. And we need to know what is happening and how you are spending our funds.
And
So please.
I mean, as we going in this direction, I want to also highlight, and we like to give real life examples. I'll ask the director to pull up that particular image, and for all intents and purposes, the name of the individual is blotched out. But I want to highlight a message received as recent as today by a Tobagonian who, again, like many other Tobagonians, is literally in a bind.
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Morris. I'm working in the Department of Sports as a contracted worker. We contract finish a year and 6 months now. No gratuity. And this is the end of the fiscal year. Nothing
As yet.
as yet. Please, thanks. Received? Okay, cool.
And you could see the kind of, I want you to understand something more than the text. The fact that this person is messaging at 7:03 a.m.
Yeah.
tells you the amount of restlessness, distress, trauma that that person is going through, because you have a THA administration that has now disregarded the importance of paying contract gratuity. And while this person specifically highlighted the Department of Sports, and I could say without fear of contradiction, this is not the first time someone from that department reached out to me, because it seems as though this is a chronic problem across the THA. In the Division of Education, I'm told there are persons as far back as 6 years. So even coming from the time of the previous administration, but we know the previous administration had a process where they were cleaning up whatever backlog, because there was a note done, they identified. So, but this person, because the 3-year process would have happened, so they would have come into term into this period. So as way back, so they had the 3-year finished just in time with this new administration. So they miss out on the period when the PNM was doing the cleanup of the whatever backlog. And so for 4 years now, they are waiting after finishing their 3-year contract, which started in the PNM time. And you have people waiting 4 years, 3 years complete, and can't get their gratuity. And you're going, that is happening, Division of Education, saying they have no money to pay gratuity. So they're telling you plain, we flat out. You go over to health. We have no money to pay gratuity. So, but at the same time, while they have no money to pay gratuity, you're seeing, you have money to take over 100 people to go to New York to FET and to have a good time. And you have these people who will have worked hard, worked honestly, diligently. And the one thing I know a contract worker looks forward to, because I was a contract worker, and when I finished my contract, having duly functioned satisfactorily in my position, I look forward to that gratuity, because that is the one real essence of reward that you get financially, having performed your duties successfully for that period. And having done that, and to now have to wait 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, going away for your contract gratuity, that is something that is unacceptable. and I know that is something based on my conversations, based on what I'm hearing from the PNM's political leader, will not happen under his watch.
Definitely not. Folks, we're going to take a very short break. And when we come back, we're going to ventilate intently a serious, serious issue affecting all of Tobago. So stay tuned, stay locked on. We're on the home stretch on our way out, but we'll be right back.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
Good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your
So folks, we are back, and before we go this evening, we want to be able to treat with a particular issue. We are in a familiar place once more as an island, as we're seeing the administration repeatedly coming to this juncture where we are mere weeks away from a carnival, something that is now, it has created high expectations. And this THA as an administration, yet again, is absolutely unready for such an event. We want to highlight again, coming out of the headlines, we would have read the issue of stakeholders, Carnival stakeholders, literally boycotting the launch of Carnival. This minority leader and minority councillor is the fourth year. 22, 23, 24, and now 25. And for 4 years, we did not know what was the budget of Carnival up until sometimes just about a month and a half before. And that came after much pressing. After 4 years or into 4 carnivals, stakeholders have not yet been successfully engaged as pertaining to packaging a product. After 4 years, there is still no a measure of the monetary value to Tobago that Carnival brings. After 4 years, we do not have an additional flight, international flight, to bring visitors to Tobago Carnival. And I can go on with the after 4 years. Remember the Grenada MOU, where this contingent from Grenada is going to be coming, and that contingent never materialized. And I mean, a number of promises. And we saw a Secretary of Tourism who I mean, was very, very boisterous about she having all the answers. As a matter of fact, I remember her saying that she has so many ideas in her head that when she's in her office, she just writing down ideas, but she doesn't have the personnel to work with her, to get the ideas implemented?
I recall that the first year that we had the October Carnival, the Tobago October Carnival, when we asked the question in the house about what the budget was. And this was very close to the carnival. I think it was less than a month before the staging of the carnival. And at that sitting, the secretary was unable to answer. And I think, well,
Nothing
subsequently, when we filed the questions in relation to inquiring what the budget will be, those questions are normally answered after the staging of the event. And I am not sure if we heard what the budget was for this October Carnival. Again, we would have seen that stakeholders boycotted because of varying reasons. One could have been how they were engaged. And it seems as if nothing has changed in relation to the engagement of stakeholders from the first year to now the fourth year. Because in the first year, we would have had meetings with the stakeholders. We would have had meetings, representatives from Calypso, Mass. The steel band wasn't present, but we would have spoken to them via the telephone. And at that meeting, none of the stakeholders present was aware of their role in the upcoming Tobago Carnival. And it appears that 4 years later, that seemed to have gotten worse. It did not change, but it got worse in terms of the relationship. And the Tobago Carnival has such great potential. But of course, without the stakeholders, what is really the product? What are we offering?
Well, the point is the carnival has not, the fact that stakeholders are still complaining means that the carnival still is not properly organized.
Yes.
And if you look at what, how the carnival was organized before, under the previous PNM administration, that is the National Carnival, you would have a East Carnival Committee, and you would have a Central Carnival Committee. And therefore, these committees were able to prepare. They had the mandate of preparing and planning for Carnival for basically a year in advance. The Carnival is now being entrusted by Festivals Commission, and Festival Commission is saying to you plainly, we can only, in a real sense, manage one festival at a time. So basically, we have to treat with heritage. Well, we had the rhythm and blues. We had to deal with that. Then we have to deal with heritage. And when we get heritage out of the way, then we can treat with carnival. So the stakeholders now have to wait a long time to hear exactly what are the plans and how do we fit into the plans, including what is our budget. And that is why when we are asking the questions about budget, it usually comes after the carnival. So the carnival happens without you actually knowing what the budget is, or you get the budget 1 month or so. And that therefore affects how you can plan and prepare for the carnival. So clearly the carnival itself, the way how it is structured by the THA, is structured in a way for continued chaos and confusion, and where we should be maximizing the benefits of this carnival, we are playing catch up basically.
And that may be the reason why even after the conclusion of the various festivals, including Carnival, people don't get paid for a long time. Because if you fail to plan properly, in the past, you would have known your budget and you would have planned based on your budget. So soon after the conclusion of the festival, because you would have worked within the parameters of your budget, people would have been paid. Another aspect that we don't see happening anymore is that the various stakeholders were responsible for their aspects of the management of the carnival. So the Calypso Fraternity Pantry in Bago, they were responsible for hosting the Calypso events. Mass will be responsible for the Mass on the road.
Parades,
Steel Band will be responsible for, you know, the activities surrounding Steel Band. And I think once you would have delegated and managed the stakeholders properly, you will get the buy-in and the input. But now with the lack of planning, with the delay in knowing exactly what is the budget. So it's difficult to plan around if you don't know what the expenditure is for this particular. And clearly the capacity within the Tobago Festivals Commission, because the human resource obviously is limited. And as you said, Minority Leader, they may have to deal with one festival at a time. So it doesn't give them sufficient time to plan adequately.
And this isn't a criticism of the Festivals Commission, because the Festivals Commission has the capacity. They've been planning and they've been implementing festivals. But what this shows and demonstrates is the lack of leadership at the policy level. And because they are having failed leadership at that level, it is trickling down and making the officers look bad. But at the end of the day, if the secretary is not so focused as to ensure and drive the process, then you would continue year in and year round to always come back to the same place.
And even in the past, there may be a good reason why you separated some festivals, because you remember under the Division of Tourism, there was a separate committee planning jazz.
Correct.
And those other festivals, Blue Food, and then you had Festivals Commission doing heritage and, you know, other events. So, you know, you had the manpower to deal and manage better the festivals, because the festivals come one after the other.
And that's the thing, we don't have to reinvent the wheel in Trinidad. The NCC is an entity specifically
for Carnival.
Created to manage and implement Carnival. And then, as Minority Council properly pointed out, you have your arms of Carnival. So you have Pan Tobago dealing with Pan.
And
you
they
have
also sit on the board of NCC.
So they are there in the planning. You have Tuku, who is also Calypso. And you have the Carnival Band Leaders Association, who is, and those are the three. And then you would have the Promoters Association people. So you have all the pillars of Carnival, the people who are doing the events, the people who have to put on the mask, the people who have to put on your panorama, the people who have to put on all the Calypso competition. And so they are at the seat of the table, they are having the conversations, they know what the budget is, they know what their allocation is, and so they can properly plan and effect. And that is why you're seeing a difference in how the Trinidad Carnival is managed, as opposed to how we are managing this Tobago Carnival, which is very lackluster. The marketing is very late. And therefore, in Trinidad Carnival, people actually pre-book. People are booked for the next year because of the way the marketing is done and so forth. And the bands, you see all the band launch coming out. And the only reason why bands could launch so early is because they, within their own, have that kind of planning, and they have the know-how and have the information, so they can prepare to plan to launch their bands. But in Tobago, especially where you don't have any competition, and your sole source of revenue is from the purchase, and you don't know what support you would get, etc., it is difficult for them to plan in that way.
And that is another interesting element, because if you look at the Tobago Carnival and the culture associated with Tobago Carnival, whether it be national or October, the prices that band leaders charge for costumes, you don't get persons in Tobago purchasing as you would get in Trinidad. And if you speak to the band leaders, you will hear that on Carnival Day, Carnival Saturday, Carnival Sunday, Carnival Monday, Carnival Tuesday, sometimes they have to be giving away costumes or substantially reducing the price of costumes because they're already made. And what will support them outside of the grants is the prices. So you're not sure what grants you're having. you don't have the prices to create a buffer in relation to the production of mass. And that is why you also seeing some mass band leaders dropping out from the October Carnival.
Yeah, and especially if we want to have the authentic carnival, because you would recognize if it's really basically on a purchase basis, then some of those authentic type may not be the ones where people were attractive. You know, and so therefore people would not gravitate as much, and so you're killing the real authenticity of the mass making as well. And therefore, you know, if you want to promote ingenuity and creativity in the mass, then you have to now look at how you reconfigure this carnival going forward.
Folks, we as usual out of time. However, before we close, I want to give the minority leader and minority councillor the opportunity to wish Tobago they bring Republic Day greetings.
Yes. So before I bring greetings, quickly I want to shout out TKR. Yes, congratulations to the big bad TKR, as well as congratulations are in order for Keyshawn Walcott and Jerry Richards. So we are indeed proud of you. We recognize your hard work, and it has paid off. So congratulations to our sportsmen. And I want to wish Trinidad and Tobago, all our citizens, a very happy Republic Day. I encourage you to be safe in whatever you partake in tomorrow, and I pray that you have a restful, and if it's not restful and you are doing work or activities, I pray that you have a productive Republic Day. So happy Republic Day, Trinidad and Tobago. May God continue to bless our island, and may God continue to bless our country.
I just want to join with Councillor Benoit and the Office of the Minority Leader and the team here in wishing all the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago happy 49th Republic, the anniversary and celebrations. You know, the gift of becoming a Republican nation is one that we must not ignore. As a matter of fact, it means that we as a country now in a real sense controls our destiny at the very highest level, where we have our president as the head of state. And therefore, you know, we as Trinidad and Tobagonians, citizens all, should be really proud of our achievements and where we have come as a country and as a Twin Island Republic. And it also reminds us that together as a people, where we put unity and sense of purpose first, we can in fact, like Keyshawn Walcott, like TKR, like Jerry Richards, we can conquer the world. And therefore, again, I want to join in wishing each and everyone a happy, a safe, and blessed Republic Day.
Thank you very much, folks. We want to thank you for staying with us. Thank you for viewing this evening. I'm Marilyn David saying, have a wonderful evening and God bless.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the commentators, guest, and host. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the policy or the views held by Tobago Updates or this network. Tobago Updates or this network cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program.